Hello guys, it's time for another Genshin graphic settings video. So in the last video I went straight to the point and showed you guys the settings, but so this time I want to give you a bit of an explanation. So let's get started. And one thing to remember guys, this video is only for Genshin mobile, so don't change anything in your PC based on this video. And so first off, the main thing that is important in the settings guys is your bar on the top right. So this one, current performance load, and this will tell you guys if your game will run smooth, balanced or overloaded. Now I don't think they optimized it for every phone, so I think they just optimized it on a base level for everything. So let's talk about this one. Okay, let me get to the default settings first off. Okay, now your default settings are always will be fine guys. So don't think that your default settings are low or anything. They will always will be perfect for your own device. So if you don't want to do anything, don't change anything and your game will be fine. Now, when it says smooth, that means your game will run perfectly without bearing any load on the device. That means your device will not get heated when running the game, or your device heating up during your gameplay, as long as it is in the smooth. Now, the interesting thing is when it goes, should I switch overclocked? That means your device will heat on max level. But one thing I want to tell you guys is, and this one, when it says balanced, right, it only increased a tiny bit. As you can see, it only increased a tiny bit, but it doesn't matter if your balanced level is here here or even slightly lower, as in that way. It doesn't matter, because as long as it's in balance, it will count as that is a higher load, right? So that's how it works. That means it will start heating up even when you are in balance guys. So that means, I mean, it's usually fine if you, let me go these guys. Normally it would be fine if you are playing for a short period. So even if your device heats up, it's usually fine. It doesn't affect your battery or anything. But obviously if it's in overclocked, you are definitely affecting your battery life. So if you are playing, also if you are playing for a long time, I mean long hours, it's best to keep it in smooth guys, so you have a better battery life obviously. And so now the one thing I will tell you that the easiest change for the game would be keep it in your default, and then you can just when it's default, this is the graphics guys, or should I say brightness. This is how the default settings of your device looks like, and the only thing you need to change here would be the brightness guys. I don't know why Genshin has so high brightness, but just by changing the brightness, your game will look a lot better. As you can see, all your skills look brighter, and yeah, it will look a lot better. Now for the important part, and here the most important things are the Genshin settings all it comes down to your preference. That means either you're playing co-op, or you're doing domains, or all you care about is how the character looks and how the environment looks. So those are the preferences every player has, obviously. So if you have a high-end device, like I just bought a new device which is S25 Ultra, so that's the current device that I have. That's why you are seeing my default being high. So bear that in mind, guys. Now, if you have a high-end device, just play it in high, obviously, because you will be playing for max level, right? Max level graphics, right? So these settings are for people who want uh, more optimized for their devices, So let's talk about that. Now, first things first, lower the brightness, guys. If you want more brightness, don't increase the game brightness, increase your device brightness. Okay, so that's one thing. And now, as for the graphics, let's talk about and FPS. Motion blur, I don't need this, guys, but it's your preference if you want it or not. And we'll come back to this crowd density. Now, for the co-op, if you want, you can keep it on or partially off or off. And you can keep it off, and when you are playing with your teammate or when you are doing co-op, then you can turn it on. Okay, guys? So that's usually what I do. Now, if you come for the FPS, let's talk about that last. And bloom and anti-aliasing, these are keep it the way they are default. And for the bloom, on is better. And now render resolution, shadow quality, visual effects, SFX quality, environment detail. Now these are the five that are the most important, guys. Okay, these are we will change these guys based on your preferences. So now let me tell you guys this. If you are only doing domains, that means you need faster, faster response. I mean, it's not like it will affect that much because it's not like a FPS game like PUBG or COD, right? Where your FPS matters to its peak, and you need your highest FPS. So if you want it that way, you can change your graphics where you can just lower everything, right? And then you can increase your FPS, and this will help in your domains, but I don't think it will help that much, guys. Trust me. And sometimes you might miss your triggers or something because it's too fast. So now let me talk about. So this is what you can do if you just care about FPS. So now comes down to the visuals. If you only care about visuals, which is Genshin Impact is the game which you care about visuals, right? And so let's talk about visuals. Now there are three things you need to know, guys: environmental details, render resolution, and visuals. Now let me show you guys what render resolution is, because you might think when it says render resolution, you might think it's like in Minecraft where it's render distance, right? But no, in Genshin render you cannot change your render distance, so you can only change your render resolution. And when what is render resolution is, as you can see, my character looks blurry no matter how close I can get, right? And you can even the attacks are blurry, like the edges are, it's not clarity, right? As you can see, so close or her outlines where you can see the black lines, right? Those are not clear. And now let's see what changing the render resolution does. Let's go with highest. And now, as you can see, the character and our this thing, everything is crystal clear, right? As you can see, even the ground is clear. If you can notice that. So render resolution is basically what you want your visuals to be. And when I let me put it this way, highest is 1080p, high is 720, medium is 480, and 240 and 140. If you're watching a video, that's how it goes. So basically you're playing at highest quality of visuals. And shadow is basically um, obviously shadows, but when it's low, everything is reduced to a circle, guys. As you can see, uh, the shadow is just a circle beneath um, llama, right? For every character, that's how it is. So that is the lowest shadows you can get. Now, if you want, you can have it in the medium, guys, because I would recommend keeping it medium because I cannot tell the difference between medium and high, guys. So let me show you guys. See, our character has now an actual shadow. Even the animation has a shadow, the deer, right? And all the characters or the people, everything has shadows now. Now, interesting thing is, even the clouds will have shadows, guys. Moving clouds, you will see the shadow moving underneath, as you can see there. So this is medium, guys. Now let me show you what I mean by I cannot tell the difference between high and medium. High, and yeah, I don't know what changed here. I cannot tell exactly what. I think it's a little darker, I think, but yeah, I don't know what changed. So yeah, this is what I mean. So what I would recommend is medium, guys, or low if you can't have medium. So, and the visual effects, guys, visual effects are the glowing effect of the animations, or like the things you see, even the attacks themselves glowing. And if you can see the horns, right, llama's horn, or let me guys show you. And we have Raiden, guys, right? When we do this, uh, wait, okay, there is no circle. Okay, now you guys can see the circle, right? This is the low visuals, right? And also notice the llama's horns. Now let us increase the visual to high. And now, as you can see, llama's horns glow more clearly, and they are way brighter. Same with the Raiden's ring. Like there's a effect. You can see it's like pulsing effect. And so yeah, so that is the difference between visual effects, guys. And this affects almost everything. like Zhongli's pillar, or wherever you see the thing that is glowing, so it affects that. So basically glow particles and better looking visuals even for the animations. And SFX quality is basically your effects for attacks. So as in, let me show you guys. Okay, we have Wanderer here. Now when Wanderer is doing the wind thing, right, like his charged attack. Okay, let me gather the energy now. As you can see, that is his charged attack with low SFX, right? And let me show you highest. And as you can see, he has more. So essentially, he has more particles. Your attacks have more particles and more effects if you increase your SFX. So as you can see, it has way more particles now and way more effects, and even his feet has a wind effect while he is attacking. I don't know if you can notice the wind effects, but yeah. So that is the difference between SFX quality, guys. See, as you can see, the rocks, everything else is increased with your SFX quality. So that is the difference. And also one thing to note is it is your alts, guys. As you can see, Yelan's alt is light in color on top right of the screen, right? Like here. I'm not clicking the alt, but as you can see, it's light, right? Now let me increase the SFX quality, and here you can see now it's brighter, right? So that is the difference, guys. It's both visual for your attacks and both in particles. The number of particles is basically increased, but it's not number of particles, it's number of effects that your attacks and your visual effects have. So that is what SFX quality is, guys. It increases your number of effects your attacks and animations basically have. Now environment detail, this is, I mean, obviously your the graphics that's around you, as in the environment. Okay, let me show you guys somewhere else. Okay, let me go here and you will be able to see. Now we have this place, right? And as you can see, we have grass which interacts with our character when we are moving. You can see the grass is moving, right? And it also moving with the wind. And this is the highest environment details, right? Now let me show you guys what happens when I lower it. And as you can see, the grass does not move with the wind, right? And also it does not move interact with your character. You can see that the grass is there, but yeah, it's not moving, or it has less effects. Basically the environment has less effects, and you can see this when here. Okay, let me go here and you can see what I mean. And now we are in desert, right? Now when we are walking, you can see the, what do you call it, the footsteps, and Also the, how should I call it, wind effects, I guess. The sand, Now let me increase that. As you can see more sand moving, and also, oh yeah, that's the effect that I am talking about. You can see the sand is also moving with the wind, like waves, waves of water. So that's the increased environment looks like, guys. And even in night, you can see that pretty clear. Oh yes, and I hope you guys can see that. Yeah, so that's the environment details. And so now that I have explained what everything is, the important thing is, wait, let me see the sky. Oh yeah, this is my favorite place, guys. As you can see, the sky is really pretty. Okay, so if you want, if you don't care about domains, or if your most important thing is visuals, as in character visuals and environment, right? So what I would recommend is, uh, I don't know how high your device is, but I will show you guys how I would play for my device, right? And let me show you what I mean. If I am only caring about visuals, obviously I want the highest visuals, right? And medium also. Now if you can turn that off, and also, oh yeah, and one more thing, guys. I told you guys I cannot tell the difference between medium and high shadow quality, right? And it's same with the environmental details, guys. I cannot tell the difference between high and highest. Like, if you can see the difference, or if you can tell me where I can see the difference more clearly, tell me, guys, in the comments. So what I will do for my device is keep it at high, and high, medium, okay, and highest, okay, and okay. Now we can on it, or yeah, we can keep it anywhere. And so this is what I will use, guys. Keep it in smooth so that your device will not heat up. And why I prefer to keep it in smooth, because obviously I will stream and play for a long periods of time, right? So I don't want my device to be heating up for a long period of time. And if you have AC, which cools your phone down a lot, you can then go with balanced or overclocked even. So AC helps the AC does helps. And now these are my settings. This is how I will do it. This is how I kept my settings in my previous device, which is OnePlus 7T, and it has, I think, Snapdragon 855. I don't know. It's an older device. It was 5 years old, so, and it used to run support these settings. So now, if you have even lower end device, you can change these guys to medium. Now, medium is fine for the render resolution. As you can see, I can still see my character pretty clearly, right? So you don't need to go to the highest. So I mean, obviously I cannot tell the difference between medium and the highest, as you can saw just now. So if you want, you can keep it in medium, obviously shadow medium, and then visual, and make these guys high if you guys want. So that's your preference, and that is the visual aspect, or should I say visual settings of Genshin Impact, guys, on mobile. Now when I show, let's talk about FPS, guys. Now for a game like Genshin Impact, you don't need 30 more than 30 FPS, and I say this because even in PC you would usually run it at 30 FPS. Obviously you can go 60, which usually does not change much on PC, but yeah, for at least for games like Genshin Impact, it's more common to have 30 FPS and 30 to 60 FPS, obviously, which changed for PUBG. If we talk about BGMI or PUBG, we prefer having 120 FPS, right? So that's the difference between games like gacha games like Genshin or story games, which you have lower FPS. Because it's not like you are PvPing where your FPS matters, right? So that's why it's usually optimized less for mobiles, where as you can see when I click 60 FPS it overclocks immediately. Now I can lower everything and then keep it, but okay, so that's, I'm fine with having 30, and so it's your preference. But so let me show you guys how I would optimize it if I want to have it at 60 FPS, right? Now high and medium, and clearly that is not working. So okay, okay, now this is what I will do if I wanted 60 FPS for Genshin and also slightly better graphics, right? This is how I would keep my settings, and as you can see it works better, smooth, and it is fine. So yeah, and if you are on the higher devices, guys, I mean higher end, obviously you will keep everything high, which I don't mind, but as I told you before, I want my device not be heating up for a longer periods of time. So right now this is what I usually prefer. And high, I cannot tell the difference between highest and high, guys, at least for my eyes, now this is fine. Okay, and that's it, guys. I told you guys what everything does, and showed you guys how to optimize everything. Now so basically the important thing is keeping it in smooth, guys. As long as you keep it in smooth, your device will not heat up if you do not want your device to be heating up. And if you are fine with it heating up for a little bit, you know if you're fine with that, you can have a little, keep it in balance, right? As you can see, balance, being keeping in balance is fine. So and that's all for the video, guys. And so it all comes down to your preference, and for a game like this Genshin Impact, I will recommend going with visual effects, right? More visual side, because obviously it's a beautiful game. So yeah, you can either go to your visuals or FPS. So yeah, it comes down to your preference and your device. So hope you guys having a good day, and see you guys in the next one.